Okay. Hello. Welcome to episode 23 bonus lookup list. We don't have a lot for this one. We're going to keep this one real brief because we are at my house today and we just recently moved. I just recently moved all.
Can you specify the we?
Yes. I just recently, like yesterday and today, moved all of my stuff, Mark's stuff, and the 3 dogs back to my house because Indiana is getting big and older and needs more backyard space than Mark's house provides. So we are now all at my house with Kat. And Indiana is adjusting.
A puppy.
Yeah, she's a little hyper. Yeah, puppy. We just took her to the vet yesterday. She's 16 weeks, 25 pounds.
Oh, 4 months, yeah.
Yeah, and just never-ending energy. She's exhausting all of us. So, and yeah, for this episode, we don't. I really don't. We kind of had to dig to find stuff just because it was a pretty straightforward episode. There wasn't a ton of unanswered questions, except for, of course, who did it, which was never answered. This is to recap for people, the Elizabeth Salgado episode. What did I just say? Episode 23, Elizabeth Salgado.
There's not all that much.
Yeah, there's not all that much. Except for just...
It's unanswered is what you said.
Yeah.
Or unsolved.
And we got a comment about that actually the other day. Somebody wrote, wanted to love it. 3 stars. Maybe tell people at the start that the case is unsolved so they don't spend an hour waiting for the conclusion only to be left hanging. Which I get, but also... Well, if I told you at the beginning,
I'd stop listening.
Right.
Like I wouldn't have as many questions because I know none of these individuals who are part of whatever you're sharing. I know that I'm not saying they're not guilty, but they're not yet being indicted or even found as a suspect.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the whole point is, and I'm not trying to like pull a fast one on anyone or like pull the wool over anyone's eyes, but I have to create, the whole point is to create some level of kind of suspense and tension and like who done it of it all. Even if we don't know who done it, I still want you and the listeners to be thinking about that throughout the episode and like trying to figure it out. That's kind of, I feel like the entertainment part of it, right?
Yeah. Yes. Also the buildup and the telling of how the murder or murders happened is part of it. But if you set up top, okay, this is unsolved. Once you went through the lead up and the murder, well, then I'm stopping paying attention.
Right.
Because I know we don't know. Which exactly. I guess maybe that's exactly what the person wants. But yeah, that doesn't really work for our format. So
that's right. That's true. It does not. So
whoopsie.
JMW 1969. If you happen to be listening to this, I encourage you to listen to, let's see, the Gary Triano episode has a conclusion. The Gloria Marmolejo has a conclusion.
I'm going to take a stab at this one. Mm-hmm. The Las Vegas pool cleaner.
Esmeralda has a conclusion. Sherry Black has a conclusion.
A lot of them do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just a few to start with, but there are plenty that we do that have a conclusion. But I also think that there is something beneficial to doing one without a conclusion, because not that our little teeny tiny podcast is going to help solve anything, but you're just creating more awareness about a case that doesn't have a conclusion. It doesn't have, what's the word?
Well, no one was convicted.
Right. Yeah. You don't have, I was going to say suspect, but you don't have a murderer.
Right.
So, I understand where that comment comes from. Also, I just don't, maybe I need to think harder on it, but I don't see a world where like at the beginning of the episode, I'm like, well, this is unsolved. So no suspense for you.
I mean, you can think harder on that or whatever else. I also think, this individual just doesn't like that aspect of going into it and then finding out it's unsolved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Oh.
Sorry.
Is he slipping all over my bulldog? I have no carpet and all tile. We've been at Mark's for a few months, which is all carpet. and it's really good for her because she's very old and she slips everywhere. And so she's slipping all over the place. I put down a bunch of rugs. I ordered these things off of Amazon that are like dog track pads. They're basically stickers, like sticky grip for your dog's paws. I don't know if she'll like them. We're going to try them after this. But if anybody listening has any suggestions or has tried a product that helps your dog slip less on hard surfaces, I'd be very curious to hear about it.
She doesn't like footies. Like,
now they
no
fall
dog.
off.
I'm sure no
she doesn't
dog
mind
does.
them, but they just fall off too easily. Even the ones that Velcro around the ankle. And plus it's like 500 degrees. So I feel like it's too hot for that for her.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, okay. So you had said something, I think in the last bonus episode, that you had a question for someone who left us a lovely comment named Local Milkman 208, who's a truck driver. And you had said, I have a question, but I'm not going to ask it now.
Oh, I didn't ask it then?
You didn't.
Oh.
Would you like to ask it now?
Well, yeah, but now I have another question too, but I'll ask
Great.
the initial one
ask
first.
Both.
I'll ask the initial one first. So, Milkman 208, truck driver. Oh, I have so many questions, but I'm going to let me stay on one lane. Milkman 208, you say you're a truck driver. When you're on a long haul, if you are on a long haul drive, I have heard that truck drivers often pee in like water bottles. Is that truth?
Let us know. What's your other question?
Why is your name Milkman?
Oh,
also,
yeah, I like the name.
What kind of truck, like what kind of products, I guess?
Cargo,
yeah. Do you
drive
in what part of the country? Or is it cross country? What's the hardest part of it? Yeah, I could go on and on.
Me too, actually. And I don't think this is the same person, but I got an Instagram DM a couple weeks ago from somebody who listens and is also, I think he said he's a hotshot truck driver, and I'm not sure what that means.
Oh, I remember you saying that. To me, hotshot means they drop into like Mount Lemon hot shots. They're like firefighters, like wildlife fires.
Right, but he's a truck driver, so...
Right, the fire truck driver.
Oh.
I imagine. I don't know. I didn't talk to him.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah, so think of like a...
Yes, I dated somebody in Flagstaff who was a hotshot firefighter.
Right, he drives the truck.
Okay. Well, I don't have his name in front of me, but if you're listening, you probably know who you are. I'd love to know more about... And I think he had said, like, if you ever have any cases that take place at a truck stop or involve a truck driver, to let him know, and maybe he could like give us some insight. So, but I'm fascinated by the whole profession.
The firefighter profession?
Truck driving.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'd love...
How do you stay awake? And also...
I mean, I could think of ways, but I'd be curious and just like, what do you listen to? Obviously, this guy listens to us sometimes.
Yeah, I'll write down my million questions. Maybe we'll do a bonus episode on truck drivers.
I would love it. I think that'd be super interesting. Really, I'll be honest. I have 4 things, really 3 to mention from the episode for this.
Well, let's stick to 3 then.
Yeah,
because people say we're long-winded anyways, and we already have been.
I know.
Myself included.
We'll stick to 3. All I want to really talk about and all I've consumed for the past 24 hours is Vanderpump Rules.
Well, we could just talk about that. Are any of the 3... I mean, I'm sure some people will care about them, but are they interesting?
Well, I had mentioned that kids in... let's do that first. And then I have to talk for a moment about Vanderpump Rules because I have seen in the past week that more people that I would never expect to watch this show, because I always feel like it's like my trash TV. It's like a guilty pleasure. It's terrible, and I fucking love it. But I've seen on social media so many people, like, I mean, Ariana was on the Today Show. But anyways, I've seen so many people paying attention to this show and season right now that I would never expect to.
Well,
I feel like
a lot of people, like, you're just like I'm not trying to like say you're regulation, but like people are regular too.
Yeah.
They like trash TV.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe some of our listeners tune in and so let's save it for the end because that's true. Anybody who's like, no, I don't watch that.
Turn off.
Then they can turn us off after that.
But not yet.
No, not yet. So So the three things. So one thing I found, I had mentioned that in Provo, rather than like going out to the bars drinking, a lot of college kids sing in a tunnel. And I didn't look further into it during the episode. But
isn't that why we're here?
Now I did look further into it. So there's a tradition in Provo where college students from Brigham Young gather to sing in the Wilkinson Student Center tunnel on campus. The tunnel is a popular spot for students to showcase their singing talents and enjoy the acoustics.
That makes sense. The acoustics of a tunnel.
Right. That's really all the information I could find on it. So I'd be interested if anyone is familiar with this tradition or lives in Utah.
Or goes to BYU.
Yeah. Send us a message and let us know. Cause I'd be curious to what do they sing? Is it just individuals or is it like an a cappella pitch perfect type situation? Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't find that. So let us know. And then I found, I was fascinated by this YSA, Young Single Adults. And I think we explained it pretty well in the actual episode that YSA stands for Young Single Adult. Individuals who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and between the ages of 18 and 30 and unmarried. So the purpose of the church's YSA program is to, quote, provide enhanced opportunities for them to serve in leadership positions, to teach and to lead.
And do they do that? I brought up birthright in the episode. Right. Okay. So the Young Single Adults, YSA, they just gather within Provo.
Yep. So it's and anywhere that the Mormon church is.
Okay.
So it's not just to Utah, but it's a Mormon church thing.
Got it.
So the YSA wards or congregations, we talked about church wards in the last episode. It's provides a supportive community and religious activities tailored to that stage of life, 18 to 30, unmarried. I'd imagine trying to create, love connections between people or friendships between people in that age group. Often offer social events, service opportunities, and religious classes or meetings geared towards the unique needs and challenges faced by young single adults. Which,
I still have my same opinion that I'm sure I said in the main episode.
Which was?
Which, in a way, you said, but I'm guessing they don't put it out there just like Birthright doesn't, of let's gather young single adults in this faith or this faith or this faith, and also bring them, at least Birthright, bring them culture and education. And also, we're not going to say it, but we're not going to frown upon fraternizing.
Right. Yeah.
Let's make more Mormon babies or Jewish babies or Quaker babies.
Sure. Ooh, Quaker. That reminds me of 6 Feet Under, which is the second time we've mentioned that show recently. It also reminds me, YSA, Young Single Adults, reminds me of something that I remember people, and we did not go to a religious, or I did not go to a religious high school in Chicago or anything like that, but Young Life. Did you ever hear of that? It was thing in Chicago. Christian. It was like a Christian. It was essentially, I think, it wasn't for 18 to 30. It was for teenagers, high school, or late middle school students. And it was Christian youth group something. I don't know. I didn't do it, but I knew people who did. And then...
That's interesting. That has nothing to do with murder stories. But now I'm thinking of something else because, Michael went to Catholic school up until he graduated high school. And I've got thoughts, but maybe we'll do a different podcast one day on whatever.
Religious cults, sectors?
Well, not even cults. Groups? Just how, I don't know. I have to flush it out. So I'm not going to say.
Okay. That's fair. I like it. And the last one that I looked into more, because I think I actually said in the episode, There's an indoor beach in Provo, which is in Utah, a landlocked state. And then I literally said nothing else about it. So I figured this might be, it's not, I'll just tell you. So it is exactly what I think you imagine when you think of an indoor beach. It is Provo Beach is Utah's premier venue for community fun, adventure, and events. With over 50,000 square feet of indoor fun, you can have 100% weather-free, worry-free adventures for all ages. That is taken directly from their website.
Cool.
It's an indoor, so they have an indoor flow rider, which is 30,000 gallons of water pumping under your board. You can feel like you're on the ocean.
Like a wave.
Yeah,
like one of those
surfing
wave things. Or you can do boogie board because it's a fake wave pool.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can do the flow rider. They have a ropes course, laser tag, bowling, mini croquet, which we talked about, playgrounds, a carousel, and arcade games. You can top off your day of play with a tasty treat from Ike's Creamery.
What about the beach?
Yeah.
You didn't mention the beach. I mean, I get maybe it's attached to the wave pool.
Yeah, there is. Yes, it is.
Is it sand?
Yes, there is sand. So I'll have to post some pictures because really they don't mention the beach a lot. They mention all the other activities you can do, but there is sand and it is a beach vibe, although you are indoors.
Also, I imagine they don't mention the beach all that much because this is more geared towards families with kids. Kids don't want to lay on the beach.
Well, where are you going to lay on the beach?
No sun.
Under the ceiling?
I bet it's, or I don't bet, but I'm imagining it's like a glass ceiling because I'm also thinking of this place that's in Phoenix and here that we've mentioned, or I've thought about, maybe not mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like that, an indoor
wave pool type situation.
Yeah, but
like a nightmare to me, to be honest.
You know what I'm thinking of? You've heard of that thing. Did I try and talk about this in the episode where it's like somewhere in Asia?
Yes.
Where it's like they got the ski. That is dope.
Yes.
Like that's fucking cool. I don't need sand. I get like sand and there's no actual sun and then there's like weird small pools.
Yeah, there's not much sand either.
Okay, but like a fake, but like looking really big and cool indoor ski place.
Yeah, that's amazing. This looks less like a beach and it looks more like a Dave and Buster's with a wave pool.
What's it called again?
Provo Beach.
You know what it also sounds like?
Doesn't look very beachy to me though.
You know what it sounds like to me? Not a land, but a raceway in Mario Kart.
Oh.
Provo Beach.
It does. That's true. That title does sound just like it.
Yeah,
cool. I'll post some pictures. I mean, looks fun for people with kids, just doesn't feel very like, how do you capture the beach inside?
I mean, probably bet you could, but
not like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen any photos.
Yeah, I'll post some pictures. Not great.
Well, bummer.
And that's it.
Okay, let's talk about Vanderpump.
Okay, let's talk about Vanderpump. I have immersed myself in it. I mean, I've always watched Vanderpump from the beginning. We had Jax on Daddy Issues with Joe and Oliver, and I remember like I was super excited. Like Joe and Oliver were like, "Okay, cool, yeah." Like there was some controversy at the time, which there always is. It was, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I think he was like it was their last season had just ended.
His last season.
Jackson Brittany, yeah. And they like were not invited to come back. I cannot remember what the controversy was, but there was some. And so, Joe was like, great. Seems like an interesting guy. Let's have him on. It'd be great for ratings, whatnot. And I was like, yes, can't wait.
How'd it go?
He was great, actually. He
seems good.
He was really.
Now.
Yeah, he was nice. He was like, I had talked to him, messaged with him back and forth before the episode, like, here's the questions they might ask, blah, blah, blah. Here's the link. And he was very,
friendly.
Yeah. How's somebody going to be like, fuck you, thanks for my Zoom link? Like, no, of course he's going to be friendly, but he was responsive. He was nice.
Yeah, you're not saying you definitely know he's an amazing person. You're saying he was super nice.
He was super nice, super friendly, super respectful, very responsive. He did a great job when he was on the episode with them. And Yeah, it was interesting. So, I mean, I've watched it for forever, but, you know.
Who's your favorite character on Vanderpump?
Right now or ever?
Ever. Which you can't get rid of the right now, right? You can't. But I don't imagine you would have said Sandoval or Rachel anyways.
No, never.
I don't, even before this, but you still could. I'll support it. Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard because when I think who's your favorite character, I think, does that mean who would I like be friends with?
I don't know. I just know my answer.
Probably Lala.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
I mean, and I have, over the 11 years it's been on or however long she's been on it, like there have been moments where I'm like, ugh,
sure.
I can't stand her.
I'm not saying 100% overall.
Yeah, I think.
I don't like you 100% overall. So that's the point, right?
No, that's totally true.
Like right now, even because it's, whether this scandal was going on or not, I think you still would have said that, right? Yeah. Which doesn't mean you liked every moment of every second of every whatever.
Think I like to see somebody grow and change. And even if they're growing and changing in a good way, a bad way, whatever, I think it's interesting to see somebody go through kind of transformations in life. And she seems to have gone through over the past several years, like a pretty big one. And I think I liked her even before that, but I like her now. I like her. I like how she's honest. She's outspoken. She's very straightforward, confident.
I think she's fucking funny too.
She's
says
really funny.
She like shits on people real readily in a not a respectful way, just a way.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I agree. I like her a lot, and I consistently like her, I guess, because I've had up and down feelings about Sheena, about Katie, about everybody. Also, who I recognize we're seeing a fucking second of their lives.
Sure. But that's all we can base it off of.
Right, exactly. And I know who yours is, but tell us anyway.
Well, no, I'm not willing to say that out loud. No, of course I am. But also, of course I am. Because he's always been and always will be. Because I don't support his opinions I kind of support his opinions, but.
Sure.
Yeah, Schwartz.
Yeah.
I just really like him.
I do too.
I really like him.
I do too.
I don't like however he plays into this dynamic of the scandal. And
right.
Also, he in my mind, if the show is showing,
who
the
he actually
gist
is
of what played out, that sucks if he covered it up because he was good friends with Ariana.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also he's getting a lot of shit for not fucking anyone.
Yeah.
No you know what I mean? Like he didn't fuck anyone.
Yeah, he made a bad decision. He was a good friend or bad friend to Sandoval, which way you look at it, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I just think he's
human, and he was in a tough spot. Do I keep this to myself because it's not my business and this is my best friend for however many years they've been friends, 20 years, or do I do the objectively right thing and tell Ariana? That's a tough spot to be in. Not excusing it. I honestly don't know either way what I would do.
I don't relate to any of that. I just like him. Yeah. I feel like connected to him.
Yeah.
Or not connected, that sounds weird, but I could, he just seems like
relatable.
Anyone. Yeah, I like him. He's also cute. He's kind of shy.
He seems to me a very genuine person. Maybe he's an idiot, maybe he makes mistakes sometimes, who doesn't? He comes across as he just doesn't, I don't know. It's hard to tell from the only parts that we see, but he doesn't seem like a bad, malicious person. Sandoval, even prior to this, comes off as just kind of a sketchy. It's hard. I was listening to, because when I say I've immersed myself the past few days in this, I watched the finale, then I listened to Lala's podcast, which I'd never heard before, and listened to Sheena's podcast, never heard it before, and was enthralled. And
can't wait to show you Howie Mandel.
I'm so super excited to see that. And I have to say that I think, I just lost my train of thought.
Okay, that's fine. We were talking about, or I was talking about, we were talking about how I like Tom Schwartz. He seems like a genuine goodish person, or he doesn't have a malicious heart. And then you said, but Sandoval.
Yeah.
And I said, he's always seemed like a creep.
Yeah, he just does. I don't know. He just, that's right. Now I remember. one of the, I don't know if it was like Sheena's podcast and she had Michael Rappaport on, or a TikTok. I don't know. It was something where it was a TikTok, and the guy said Stassi was on some panel, and the guy, I like her too, and the guy said, I produce reality shows, or he's a casting agent for reality shows and regular TV. I think was saying like General Hospital or something. And he said, there's bad actors on everywhere, on soap operas, on reality. Like there's bad actors everywhere. He said, Tom Sandoval in this finale, this is the worst acting I've ever seen. Like, it was like when you see somebody go to read, like audition for something and read for a scene, and they say, I just need a minute. They like put their head down, close their eyes, and they're like, and action. And then they like go. That was like how he was in these, his apology tour with Sheena and Schwartz and
oh my
Katie,
God, when he got to Schwartz's house.
He didn't talk to Katie, whoever else.
When he went to Schwartz's house, of course I know they're putting it on a bit.
Yeah.
I know it's staged in some ways, but like
sure.
Based on like real, quote unquote, real storylines. But yeah, I get it. Maybe I've never heard it in terms of like they are acting, but of course that's true. They are putting it on. When he got to Schwartz's,
they're not memorizing lines, but they
know what they're supposed to portray.
Beefing up their personality when they need to.
He was like,
yeah, that was super fake. At Lisa's, I couldn't honestly tell. When he went to Lisa's, like, he was pretty hysterical. I couldn't tell if that was like him really overdoing it,
also,
or just
for me, does it matter?
No,
like,
not at all.
Of course, I want to know. I like to, and even if it's not, even if I didn't feel that way, and I do, but like, even if I didn't feel like fuck him, it's like, doesn't really matter because I'll never know what was real 100% or not, or
no.
So it's just like, it just seems not genuine.
Well, I think there are different. So this is all that this is the only input I can give from my experience. That's not true. From my experience knowing people who have made reality shows, not the actors, the producers or whatever.
Just go on with it. Don't dilly-dally on. Don't over-explain, you woke person.
So most reality shows, almost all reality shows are not scripted. Like nobody's memorizing lines, but the producers are saying, you're going to go to lunch with so-and-so.
And you're going to talk about this or maybe this, right?
Now, the shows that I know that happen on a lot more are like Laguna Beach or The Hills, shows like that. Those were very, like they would have them sometimes redo a scene. They don't have the lines memorized, but it would be like, we didn't like how that played out. Can you have that conversation again?
Do you think they don't do that on Vanderpump?
I don't think they do that on Vanderpump.
Do you think they did it more on Laguna and the Hill, Laguna whatever in the Hill, because they were kind of kids?
Young, and those were some of the first real popular reality shows. Yeah. So I think
Bravo. Oh no, it was MTV.
MTV, yeah. So from and I don't know for sure, but from what I understand, Vanderpump, it is far less set up than that. Like they're not like Lala, you have to go to lunch with Schwartz today. They maybe suggest things, encourage things, but for the most part, it's like we are filming you this week, the whole week, and we are filming everything.
Well,
and
right,
that's it.
And they have already. That's what I was going to say. Like they just pepper their homes, their places of work, their cars with cameras.
Right.
They're filming because these people have signed off of like, yeah,
everything.
Use whatever except our bathroom, essentially.
Yeah. And I mean, and editing is, people are like, oh, well, they edited me to look like an asshole. And I've heard people be like, no, that's bullshit. You can't edit it that much. Or, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Really, you really, really can edit shit out of shit.
I've never edited.
You can make an entire conversation look
take
totally different.
4 sentences, move it up here, or take one half of that sentence out. And
yeah.
Of course. And also, of course, I know that YouTube, this Howie Mandel thing that I only watched 20 minutes of.
I'm so excited
I know they can edit that as well, but I don't think they did.
No, I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure minimally. The podcast stuff is probably minimal. The actual TV show is probably extensive. Also, I do believe, because I've heard every single one of them talk about like, this was not set up. Like we didn't, and Sheena said something on her podcast today that I thought was like an obvious thing and also a good thing to say, that because Michael Rappaport was like, are you free? Like the show's got to be doing great. And she's like, oh yeah, our ratings are through the roof. We've already been picked up for season 11. Like this is huge. Like we are the moment right now. Everyone, it's literally all you see on TikTok. It's
People
everywhere.
thought we've talked about it. Like, did they time this?
And I don't think they did, but I do. And so what she said is she was saying it's amazing. And also it fucking sucks because the reason that that the show is so successful right now is because of somebody's actual like life falling apart and heartbreak. And so it's like, that sucks. And also let's make the most of this, which they have. I mean, I was reading some of them went to the White House for the something dinner the other night. And like, yeah, ride that wave if you can, because it's not going to last. It won't be forever, but
it's going to be,
it's brief, but it's
well, I don't know.
huge.
I can't say it's going to be very short lived, but I imagine it is. Also, Ariana is
seemingly
this
doing
is
quite,
her moment.
It sure is. And she is, whoa, has she had whoever her publicist, manager, whatever is, they have done a great job, because I watched clips of her on the Today Show and she is, and even on Watch What Happens Live, she's so composed, so well spoken.
I don't love it. I gotta say, I don't love it.
You don't? Oh, you want to see more like raw?
And I'm not saying that's not really her.
Oh,
but for me, it's a bit smiley. I didn't watch Today.
Yeah.
Forget about the outfit of whatever I said. It's like, whoa, great, look your fucking best. I
totally,
get that,
totally.
But like it was this. It was like I know no one.
She's
can see
very
me.
put together. Yeah,
and anytime something, she's a and I also like her answers. I felt like the words coming out of her mouth, not every time, but often were genuine. Like, I don't know what Andy asked, and she's all, yeah, no, fuck no. Like, I'd never get back with him or something.
Right.
So like I trust the words, but this, I'm not even saying her awesome look and how beautiful she looks, but like she's got this smile that keeps plastering. And it's like, maybe she is in that place. I don't know. Maybe she is. After 10 years, I wouldn't be. I hope she truly is.
Well, because this was recent. I mean, this was 2 months ago that this happened.
Well, right.
Yeah. No, she's definitely been coached. Yeah, for sure.
Which I get it.
For sure.
If I can make more money if I'm coached, I'd probably do it.
Totally.
Also,
totally.
I would never do it.
Totally. But now, I mean, I also applaud Bravo because I think it would be like, okay, we know what happened. He cheated, this and that. But so how do you keep the hype going? And they've done a really good job they put out, their PR or whoever put out a statement that was put wide yesterday that was like, no contracts have been sent out for season 11. Like, we don't know who's going to be on season 11 because the cast members have not seen the reunion yet. And at the reunion, Andy does a one-on-one with Sandoval, a one-on-one with Rachel, and a one-on-one with Ariana, and nobody knows what was said in each of those.
Interesting.
And so Bravo's like public statement now is, we need all the cast members to see the full 3 parts because things come out that no one knows yet.
I don't necessarily believe that.
I don't either, but good for them. Like, that is a great because now I've seen 80 TikToks where everyone's like, Rachel's pregnant, Raquel is pregnant. That's what the secret is. So it's creating more buzz around something that, like, it's already happened. We know what happened. But now, do we know what happened? Maybe more happened. Like, they've nailed it with the marketing this.
And I think Andy Cohen. Yeah, I know. I've been watching her. Oh, hey, girl.
Izzy is digging into my pregnancy pillow that I ordered.
Bravo's not always, but I think been
great,
best at that.
Yeah, really good at editing and
this
previews.
Thing with Howie Mandel, which like that's weird that that name came into my mouth, but it was based on the Andy Watch What Happens Live, which is what brought me there. But like that was recent, and I can't imagine. I could be wrong. I cannot imagine that. And I only watched 20 minutes. Like, what else is going to come out besides someone's pregnant? I don't actually think that's going to happen.
So interesting. I was just going to say, can you take a picture of Izzy and then you take a picture of both of them on there? Like if you can widen it. Because it is cute. So Izzy. So guys, I've never done this, but I have the best Amazon recommendation for you ever. And it is a pregnancy pillow. It's like a U-shaped body pillow that
every woman on here who's been pregnant. Oh, we know what a pregnancy pillow is. Sorry.
I've never slept better in my life. I've never
more comfs.
Oh my gosh.
It's
like a hug. My back is supported. I can put it between my knees so my like hips feel like, honestly, I have never slept better than since I got this. It's like $30 on Amazon. It's phenomenal.
Well, you have to put a link in the thing.
I'm going to put a link in this episode because it is the best damn $30 I've ever spent in my life. And now Izzy and Indiana.
Well, you can put the picture I just sent you.
Both like laying on it very comfortably. So, I don't know. I mean, I could talk about this forever.
Right, but we're not going to.
I know. This is not what this podcast is about.
Right, and also we want to watch a little Howie Mandel.
I want to watch.
Sounds so weird.
Yeah, it does.
It's funny because he has no idea. He does it with his daughter. That's why I said I like his daughter. I don't know if you knew that. I knew nothing. I didn't even know he had a podcast.
Him and his daughter came on Joe and Oliver's podcast.
Oh, you didn't like him?
Oh, no, I liked them. They were both sweet. They were great. They were fine.
Okay.
But like, I don't watch whatever he does, Deal or No Deal or things like that. He's I knew who he was, but I've
known who he was like years ago and I never thought about him since.
No.
This is interesting because he has no idea what, like, Tom Sandoval starts going into like, well, and then Ariana and then Schwartz and at one point, Howie Mandel says, well, yeah, something about Jews. And Tom's all, Schwartz isn't a Jew. And Howie Mandel's, because it does sound like a Jew last name.
It does.
Right. So anyways, we're going to go watch it.
Let's
sign off.
Yeah. But one more thing on the Howie Mandel, sorry. People were upset about it because they felt like, why? Like, Howie Mandel doesn't watch Vanderpump. He's never been in the Bravo verse or whatever the fuck they call it.
But his daughter has.
Okay, so
his
that makes
daughter
more
knows
sense.
I mean, his daughter seems like, I get it was annoying, but I also thought it was an interesting perspective because, yes, you'll see, he comes in and he's like, well, you guys weren't married. Not that I think that really means all that. Like, if you're together for 10, being married means something. But also, if you're together for a long period of time, to me, that means basically the same.
Totally.
But I could see why people would be like, you don't get it, because he says, like, you guys weren't married.
Well, people
weren't having sex.
People were like, why is he getting this interview? Like, shouldn't it be somebody who's more...
Well, someone should ask Tom Sandoval that. Why did he give him that interview?
I have no opinion on that. But yes, we're going to go watch that. And we'll be back on Monday with a new episode. This will come out in the next day or so.
I'm not even going to say, this is when I usually say hug your loved ones, but just like, well, yeah, actually, hug your loved ones.
Yeah.
Appreciate your loved ones.
Totally.
Your romantic partners, your friendship partners, your family partners, your animal partners.
Animal partners. We got all of my animal partners right here, all 4 of them. Jeez. It's a zoo in here.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks
Bye-bye.
for listening. Bye.
Night-night.